losing my colon.
And the heart surgery.
Oh, yeah, that ding-dong heart surgery. And then 3 years later, after the heart surgery, I had a bleed.
A mesenteric aneurysm.
Yeah, I lost 10 pints of blood. As Doc said that as fast as I was pumping it out, they were pumping it in. I had to have 4 more pints of plasma, 4 pints of iron. Hey, that's expensive stuff.
So during all this time, when she would heal from one of these surgeries, the pain management, they would give her all those pills. And back in the day, one of the first things they gave is Demerol. And it tore her stomach up, and it caused more issues. And she would smoke a little bit. And truly, the marijuana helped her heal, and it saved her life.
Yeah, it was after the bleed, Mark took me to Grand Rapids, and I had a friend give me a jar of marijuana coconut oil.
Oil, yeah.
And Mark would put it in my tea or scramble my egg and put it on my toast, and it did. I was able to do it. One day I was moving pretty fast, and I fell down. He thought I was going to crack my head on his table, but all I did was just roll like an armadillo.
Are you guys? We haven't heard from you guys in a second. Are you still there?
We are still here. We're enjoying the conversation. Please,
gentlemen, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes,
great. So Mom's used marijuana for quite a long time.
Since I was 4.
Yeah, first to kind of party with my dad, because they were my parents were these fun-loving kids who had kids who just wanted to have a good time.
And alcohol was not a preferred choice.
Through. You're really breaking up. Can you say that again?
I don't know everybody's age, but it sounds like the era that you're talking about would have been the 80s, 70s, and alcohol was the normal drug of choice for social.
You wanted me to start from the beginning. Go ahead and ask me some questions, honey. Let's get this ball rolling. The best thing that what I want to get across is I don't want this to be a stigma to people anymore. I don't want them to be ashamed, because it helps people. My 86-year-old aunt said, "Way to go, Dee." And my cousin called me a rock star because I want to get out there and tell people to vote, and I want them to get better. I don't want them to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
I don't regret going through it.
So, Mom, why don't you tell them what you went through? Tell them when Officer Ashley Grunow came to the door.
Okay. I just got done smoking, and that little cutie had her nose in the air like an old hound dog, and I said, "Oh shit, B, you're in trouble." And I'm not going to lie about it, and I told her the truth, and then I thought, well, you're still lying, Dee. I talked to myself. I said, I got a jar in my bedroom. I can't lie to you. There's about an eighth in it. She claimed I had 4 roaches, 4 joints, but they were just good-sized roaches. I only liked the first half.
And she was there. She was there initially because the Clare County Sheriff's Department received a report from the Saginaw County that they found my great-grandniece's, her great-granddaughter's, phone and ID. And they were there to see if my niece was there. And when she smelled the marijuana, she said, "Who's here? Who else is here? Who else is in the house?" And she peppered.
Yeah, that wasn't. She was. I let her in. I knew dang well not to let her in, but I let her in because a third party was being accused, and I wasn't going to let that happen. She mentioned that third party's name several times, and I was getting pretty frustrated, nervous,
scared.
Well, yeah. I'd never been to jail before.
Okay.
But I knew I did wrong because I let my card lapse because I was mad at the federal government and mad at the local government, and I thought they were just...
Why were you mad at them?
Because they were, when I had my card, they were busting people down in Flint.
Who had their cards?
Yeah, their marijuana card, medical marijuana card. These people were getting busted left and right down in Flint. And I said, why in the hell should I pay that price just to get busted? So
right.
I'm bullheaded.
So then she came into your house, Mom, and what did you tell her?
Well, I told her to look around, not to look around. Go ahead and do what you have to do. That's what I said. Go ahead.
She asked how much you had, right?
Yeah, she wanted me to show it to her.
Yeah.
And then she found more and found my pipes. And I said, well, if I'm going to jail, I'd like to do my dishes. So I'll go do my dishes while you look around. So she looked around, and finally I was almost done, and she's leaning on the counter, and so I asked her if she'd put the bread and ketchup away. And she did. And then she went back out of the room and looked around some more and took some pictures, and she came back and leaned on the counter again. I only had one pan to go. I said to her, "Are you ready, hon? Are you ready to go?" She said, "Yes." I said, "All right, let me close my windows and lock my doors." And then we went out the door, and we went to her car. It was parked closer to the road. I have a pretty good driveway. It's not that long, but lengthy when you're 81 and tired. And I said, "Well, you want to handcuff me in the front or in the back?" She says, "Well, get in the car first, and then I'll handcuff you."
So Officer Gruner did show. We want to make sure that people. She was young, but I do think she showed my mom a bit of compassion. She did make a mistake. She could have just. How this should have been handled was, okay, you had your medical marijuana card. Please get it again. Here's a ticket, and come show us later.
Well, I think she's a nice, sweet little girl. I mean, my goodness. To put my bread and ketchup away, I mean, that was a good offer for, it's a good deed.
Right.
And,
so then you got in the car, and what did you say to her on the way to the jail?
Well, my head was just going like crazy, things in my head. And I was thinking in my head, well, you might as well have fun. And so I said out loud, well, I'm going to have fun. And she couldn't talk or say anything until we got to Harrison. I mean, she did, even when she smelled the smoke, she took a couple of steps backwards. I mean, she was surprised and appalled.
This was the Clare County Sheriff's Department that did this?
Yeah, Clare County Sheriff Department, Officer Gruno. Huh. She's quite a young officer. I feel that she's a bit inexperienced, and I don't know if you've read some of the transcripts of the quotes that the sheriff, and his name's, I can't remember his name right now. It seems like his stance is, this was her decision. We're not going to go back on her decision, but obviously I don't think she had enough training to understand what to do with an 80-year-old woman with a medical marijuana card that was expired.
So this was a training issue because it's.
And so,
Right.
I'm speculating. I'm completely speculating. I think, she was a young officer. Mom was in the wrong. Maybe it was the right thing to do to arrest her. I think most everybody can see that an 80-year-old woman in her home, safe, sane, who had just smoked a joint because of her pain, no one else is in the house, you could use some discretion there to say, okay, here's your expired card, ma'am. I need you to get this up to date.
Well, especially because they were there without an invitation, right?
Right. And she searched the home without permission. When Mom got in the car, she was not read her Miranda rights. She didn't see her Miranda rights until she got to the jail through the processing, where they gave her a piece of paper to read and sign. And I don't know the law about that. I'm ignorant about the law about that. We heard a lot of things that they don't have to, but it just seems like that's something. But then Mom, you got to the jail and they were processing you, and they fingerprinted you, took your picture. Tell them what they said to you right before you went into the cell.
What, honey?
Tell them what they said to you right before you went into the cell.
Oh, well, there's a gap there where we're leaving out a bunch of stuff.
Go ahead.
He's a little upset about what was said to me.
I'm pissed off. I'm angry at that.
That's for a minute.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, thank you, honey. I love you.
I love you more.
Okay. So the last thing that a deputy that was taken by, what do you call it, report, what, status? I don't know. I'm an amateur about this stuff. He said, if you get raped, and he rattled off 4 numbers, and all I could hear was the first number, which was 2. And I said, pardon me, what did you say? Well, I thought in my mind, that's not what he said. Did he say that? Oh, well, bad words. I said, that's not going to happen. I mean, they don't know what this old lady, when she comes unglued. I would be like a mother bear. I tear them a new butt.
And I'm sure this is just a procedure that they have to tell inmates before they go into the cell with other inmates. But they didn't explain to you there was a phone or a keypad. And he said that to frighten you. An 80-year-old woman.
And it made me mad, too.
Yeah.
But I got in my jail cell and said a prayer, and I felt the presence of the Lord, and I laid down and got comfortable and had a little nap, and then my companion, she woke up and asked the guards what time it was. It was 3 o'clock, and the next time I woke up, it was 6 o'clock in the morning because they were going to feed her breakfast and take her someplace else. So I took her spot. She was laying on a raised pallet, and I was laying on the floor with a pallet. And
so you had what did they give you again?
A mattress.
Like a little mattress, vinyl mattress, right? And a blanket, you said?
Oh, and a blanket. I had to drag it in the cell myself. I said, well, come along, honey. It was a little struggle there pulling that mattress in there. Anyways, I got it in there and looked at the thing, the mat and the blanket, filthy. The bathroom, the toilet, the sink. I couldn't even have a drink of water because the water pressure was so low that I didn't want to put my lips on that metal stuff. In fact, I was so embarrassed to go potty. I took the blanket and put it over my head because there was a gap in the window where you could look in. You couldn't see the lower part of your body, but you could see our heads. And Well, it gave me the heebie-jeebies.